Good evening. You're watching the news tonight, your daily roundup of all that has happened across India and the world. I'm Ishan Russell, and these are the headlines that we're tracking this evening. Centre and opposition trade charges over Vijay Mallya's unreturned loans. Congress asked why wasn't he arrested before he left the country. The government replies to opposition's charge. Finance Minister Arun Jaitley assures Lok Sabha that banks will recover all the money given to Mallya. Green signal for regulation in real estate sector. Rajya Sabha passes Real Estate Regulation and Development Bill 2015. Sri Ravi Shankar gets one-day deadline to pay 5 crore fine levied by the National Green Tribunal. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to attend the World Culture Festival on Friday. And more saber-rattling by North Korea. Pyongyang fires 2 short-range missiles, suspends all inter-Korea cooperative projects. Our top story this evening, the centre and the opposition today locked horns over the Vijay Mallya issue, even as the opposition attacked the government inside Parliament. Outside, it was Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi who questioned the Prime Minister and his commitment to bringing back black money stashed away.
अभी हमने जेटली जी से पूछा, क्लियर सवाल पूछा, जेटली जी आप हमें बताइए, माल्या जी हिंदुस्तान से भाग के कैसे निकले? अगर उनके ऊपर कार्रवाई हो रही है, अगर उनके ऊपर नोटिस है, लुकआउट नोटिस है, तो वो राज्यसभा में क्या कर रहे हैं? सवाल ये था कि ये जो भागे हैं, इनको आपकी सरकार ने भागने क्यों दिया? 9,000 करोड़ रुपए जिन्होंने सरकार से चोरी किए हैं, उनको आपने निकलने क्यों दिया? इसका जवाब कोई नहीं आया।
The Congress today attacked the centre for not arresting liquor baron Vijay Mallya and allowing him to leave the country. Raising the matter during zero hour, leader of opposition in Rajya Sabha, Ghulam Nabi Azad, said Mallya's escape is a criminal conspiracy and the government should be made party to it. Samajwadi Party leader Naresh Agrawal also sought answers from the government.
लुकआउट नोटिस देश के तमाम एयरपोर्ट्स पे दी गई हो, उसको ढूंढने की। ये मल्ल्या कोई सुई नहीं है और शायद कोई भी आदमी नहीं इस देश में या विदेश में, जिस तरह से 1 साल से उसको पब्लिसिटी मिल रही है और उसकी शक्ल को शायद कोई ऐसा आदमी नहीं होगा जो जानता नहीं, और खास उसके देश छोड़ने में ये सरकार पार्टी है। इस कॉन्स्पिरेसी में, इस क्रिमिनल कॉन्स्पिरेसी में भारत सरकार पार्टी बनानी चाहिए।
इसके पहले मैंने देखा लोकसभा में 1-1 हजार रुपए पे लोगों की संपत्ति चली गई। यहाँ 9,000 करोड़ का मामला ये सदस्य का, और उसके बाद वो सदस्य बना रहे।
मैं आपसे सहमत है। I agree with you that this is a matter to be taken up in the ethics committee. I think according to the procedure it could be done.
The government countered, saying Mallya was given loans during the UPA rule, and in the 10-year-long rule, that government took no steps to recover the money.
जिन कंपनीज और व्यक्ति के बारे में जिक्र किया है,
Informing the House that the CBI is investigating the matter, Finance Minister Arun Jaitley also said that banks have been asked to recover every penny that is due from Mallya.
पहली बार इनका अकाउंट 30 अप्रैल 2009 को एनपीए हुआ। उस एनपीए के बावजूद भी 21/12/2010 को उस नॉन परफॉर्मिंग अकाउंट को रिस्ट्रक्चर किया गया और रिस्ट्रक्चरिंग के तहत उनको और सुविधाएं दी गई, और इसलिए ये किस तरह से अकाउंट्स चल रहे थे, क्या क्या सुविधाएं ऐसे लोगों को दी जा रही थी, ये डेट्स अपनी कहानी खुद बतलाती हैं।
The government had on Wednesday informed the Supreme Court that Vijay Mallya left the country on March 2nd. The court was hearing the petition of a consortium of 17 banks which had said that Mallya should be stopped from leaving India because of the debt of over 9,000 crore rupees owed by the now defunct Kingfisher Airlines. The Apex Court has sought Mallya's response by March 30th, the next date of hearing. Ravindra Shoran's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
The Finance Minister Arun Jaitley assured the Lok Sabha that the banks will recover all the money given as loan to liquor baron Vijay Mallya. The issue was raised by the Congress party, which alleged that the government had helped Mallya leave the country with the bank's money.
Yes, Mr. Minister.
Finance Minister Arun Jaitley gave the government's reply over the Vijay Mallya issue in Lok Sabha on Thursday. Jaitley said Mallya was given the loan during UPA rule, countering that at the time Mallya left the country, no agency had orders to stop him. But he assured the House that banks will recover the loan from the businessman.
Banks would go on to recover the entire amount which is due to them. There are some accounts for which there are securities. I have the details of all those amounts. Cases have been filed all over the country. There are some counter cases also the concerned companies and the persons have filed. And the banks are going to certainly take every possible action to recover not only from him, but many other defaulters. I have a list of willful defaulters with me.
Earlier, leader of the Congress party in the House, Mallikarjun Kharge, alleged that Mallya fled the country with the government's help. An unsatisfied Congress walked out of the House in protest.
In actuality, a single defaulter with a default of 9,900 crore has run away under the watch of the government. All this has happened despite the fact that a criminal case for financial irregularities and diversion of funds was lodged by CBI nearly 7 months, that is 29th July 2015.
Vijay Mallya owns over 9,000 crore rupees to a consortium of 17 banks. The Enforcement Directorate has also filed a money laundering case against him. This is Pranav Goswami's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Now, responding to a calling attention motion, Home Minister Rajnath Singh accused the UPA government of trying to confuse facts in the Ishrat Jahan case. He also accused the erstwhile UPA government of hatching a deep conspiracy to frame Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The Home Minister claimed that the second affidavit filed by the government before the High Court on the 29th of September 2009 weakened the fact that Ishrat was an LET operative. The Home Minister said the effort was to defame the then Gujarat Chief Minister Modi and some state leaders. The Home Minister said a few documents, including 2 letters written by the then Home Secretary G.K. Pillai to Attorney General late G.E. Vahanwati, and the copy of the draft affidavit were untraceable. He told the House that the Home Ministry is undertaking an internal inquiry in this regard.
जहां तक इसरत जहां केस का संबंध है, मैं तो यह मानकर चलता हूं, चाहे इसरत जहां केस का प्रश्न हो अथवा अन्य कोई दूसरा इस प्रकार का आतंकवाद से जुड़ा हुआ यदि कोई प्रश्न हो, उस पर किसी भी सरकार के द्वारा कोई फ्लिप फ्लॉप नहीं होनी चाहिए। लेकिन मैं दुख के साथ कहना चाहता हूं कि इसरत जहां केस के मामले में पिछली सरकार के द्वारा फ्लिप फ्लॉप हुआ है और उस समय के वहां के मुख्यमंत्री को बदनाम करने के लिए, उन्हें फंसाने के लिए एक और अपने अन्य जो लोग वहां थे उनको फंसाने के लिए ये एक प्रकार की यह गहरी साजिश थी।
The Rajya Sabha today passed the Real Estate Regulation and Development Bill 2015 with support from the Congress and other opposition parties. The AIADMK, however, opposed it, saying the bill infringes upon the rights of the states to regulate the sector.
The Rajya Sabha on Thursday passed the Real Estate Regulation and Development Bill 2015. The bill seeks to regulate the real estate sector, bring in transparency and protect consumer interests. Moving the bill for passage, Urban Development Minister M. Venkaiah Naidu listed several provisions that focus on transparency.
Both the developers and consumers have to pay interest at the same rate for any delay. If there is a delay, there is an interest also.
Several opposition parties supported the bill, while expressing concern on some provisions.
The committee has recommended, sir, that an area of 500 square meters or a unit with 8 apartments should come into its purview. So we feel, and our suggestion is that we must include all.
शहर से मिले गांव की सारी जमीनें प्लॉटिंग में चली गई और उन प्लाटों पर मकान बन गए और उन मकानों को डेवलप करने की जिम्मेदारी हम लोगों पर है। नहीं देंगे तो वोट नहीं देंगे, तो वोटों के डर में हमें काम करना पड़ रहा है कि वो छोड़ गए। तो इसमें प्लाट वाला भी प्रोविजन कहीं करिए कि खाली मकान बना के देने का ही बिल्डर नहीं है। जो प्लाट बेचते हैं, वो जो प्लाट दे रहे हैं उनकी जिम्मेदारी भी हो कि प्लाट वही बिकेंगे जो कॉलोनी पूरी तरीके से डेवलप होगी।
मैं चाहता हूं कि इन मुकदमों की मियाद भी तय हो कि ज्यादा से ज्यादा ये डिस्प्यूट 6 महीने में समाप्त हो जाए।
Currently, the bill excludes land below 500 square meter or apartments with 8 or fewer units from its purview. The provision would result in the exclusion of bulk of the urban middle and lower class home buyers from the protection of the bill. So these home buyers are the most vulnerable to exploitation by developers and real estate agents.
तो जैसे शैला जी ने कहा, ये 500 yards का जो आप ब्लॉक रख रहे हैं इसको उठा दीजिए. Who will protect these poor people is millions of homes who keep falling every day.
The AIADMK opposed it, saying that it infringes upon the rights of states to regulate the sector.
Our stand is the bill is not strictly within the legislative competence of the central government. The bill casts undue responsibilities and takes away the freedom of the state government and the competent authorities. We oppose the bill.
Replying to the discussion, Naidu assured members that their suggestions will be taken on board while framing rules.
Reducing the area below 500. Earlier, you are all aware it is 1,012. Now I brought it down to 508. I tried to bring to the notice of the House, states have the power to reduce it below 500 also. ADMK, who raised the principal objection, which they thought it's right, but we are in disagreement with them. I only appeal to them also to see reason and see that you also support this bill, because the bill is in need of the hour.
The bill, supported by all opposition parties except the AIADMK, was passed by a voice vote in the House. This is Vishal Dahiya's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
The National Green Tribunal has given the Art of Living Foundation time till tomorrow to pay the 5 crore rupee fine for holding the World Culture Festival on the Yamuna floodplains. The NGT says that the law will take its own course if the AOL fails to do so. The foundation has been asked to deposit the money as environment compensation. The tribunal also refused to give an urgent hearing on a fresh plea seeking stay on the 3-day event. The Green Panel has also directed the Central Pollution Control Board to issue proper directions to organisers with regard to disposal of municipal solid waste and drinking water. Meanwhile, amid allegations that the Culture Ministry provided funds for the festival, the centre today said that it has not extended any financial support to the event. The 2.25 crore rupees given to the Art of Living Foundation was part of routine grant to organisations promoting art and culture. Earlier in the day, Art of Living founder Sri Ravi Shankar was defiant as he said that he would rather go to jail than pay the fine. He also denied that any tree at the venue was felled and claimed that the trees had only been pruned and all they had done was level the floodplain.
You are quoted as saying that you are going to contest it, you are ready to go to jail, but you are not going to pay the fine. Can you explain?
Correct. We will contest on that. We have very high grounds and we will contest on that. We are for environment and I appeal to all the environments. Let's all together make this a beautiful place. We don't want any more concrete buildings on Jamuna bank. It has to be with fauna, flora, with trees. I am all for it. This one cultural festival, few days, is not going to damage, it's not damaging in fact on those things. And I am assuring that we will work for environment. And we have done it. We have rejuvenated 16 rivers in this country.
संस्कृति मंत्रालय की ये योजना है जिसमें हम 1 करोड़ रुपए से लेकर 5 करोड़ रुपए तक की राशि विभिन्न संस्थाएं जिनकी राष्ट्रीय छवि है और राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर काम करते हैं और जो भारत की संस्कृति को उन्नयन के लिए काम करते हैं उनको हम देते हैं और उस तहत के तहत इस कार्यक्रम के आयोजन के लिए सरकार ने कोई पैसा नहीं दिया है बल्कि ये विभिन्न संस्थाओं को 2 करोड़ 25 लाख रुपए की राशि व्यक्ति विकास केंद्र की संस्था को दी गई है.
Now, the Indian Space Research Organisation successfully launched its 6th navigation satellite into orbit from the Sriharikota spaceport in Andhra Pradesh today. Called the Indian Regional Navigation Satellite System 1F, it was launched by ISRO's Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle C-32. It's the 7th satellite in the IRNSS space system launched to help terrestrial, aerial and maritime navigation. The satellite has a 12-year mission life. It's carrying 2 types of payloads, a navigation payload and a ranging payload. The navigation payload will transmit navigation service signals to users, while the other consists of a C-band transponder that facilitates accurate determination of the range of the satellite. It will further help in vehicle tracking and fleet management, disaster management and mapping. With this success, India has now moved closer towards joining a select group of countries that have their own satellite navigation systems. Time now to take a look at what else has been making news around the country and nationwide. Supreme Court Judge Justice V. Gopalagowda today recused from hearing appeals pertaining to dropping criminal conspiracy charges against L.K. Advani, Murli Manohar Joshi, Uma Bharti and other BJP leaders in the Babri Masjid case. Justice Gowda did not cite any reason. The BJP on Wednesday announced a list of 88 candidates for the upcoming Assam Assembly elections. The party fielded a Jorhat MP Kamakhya Dasha against Chief Minister Tarun Gogoi, while Chief Ministerial candidate and Union Minister Sarbananda Sonowal will contest from the Majoli Assembly constituency. Slamming Raj Thakrae's remarks on non-Marathis getting auto rickshaw permits, the opposition Congress and NCP today accused him of pursuing hate politics. They also demanded that the BJP Shiv Sena government take legal action against the MNS president. Pakistani-American terrorist David Coleman Hetley will be cross-examined by Key 2611 plotter Abu Jandal's lawyer for 4 days starting 22nd March. Hetley deposed before a special court in Mumbai last month through video conferencing from an undisclosed location in the United States. Special Public Prosecutor Ujjwal Nikam confirmed the cross-examination of David Hetley and also said the prosecution might re-examine him later. Time for us to take a short break. That's lots more on the other side. Do stay tuned.
Thanks to the politicians like Nehru, who understood the importance of mathematics as an intellectual activity as well as for the economic development, they made important financial input into science. One of the quotations from Nehru is more or less what he said, I think to some extent, that mathematics is the vehicle of exact scientific thought.
Watch Eureka with Professor M.S. Narasimhan, eminent mathematician, only on Rajya Sabha TV.
Rajya Sabha clears amendment to President's address. Eligibility requirements to contest Panchayat polls raise concern. What does an amendment to the President's address signify? And how does this affect the Panchayat elections? Watch The Big Picture at 9:30 p.m. on Rajya Sabha television.
Welcome back. You're watching the news tonight. Some international news now, and Myanmar's National League for Democracy has named its candidate to be the country's president. Party leader Aung San Suu Kyi failed to persuade the military to allow a clause barring her from the presidency to be overruled, but she has vowed to lead from the sidelines. The candidate most likely to become president, Hiten Kwa, is a close aide of hers.
The presidential election process kicked off in Myanmar on Thursday, with a senior aide to human rights activist Aung San Suu Kyi set to become the country's first democratically elected president in half a century. Suu Kyi's party, National League for Democracy, nominated her closest aide, Hiten Kwa, for the post. Suu Kyi herself is barred from running for the country's highest office due to a clause in the constitution that bans people married to foreigners from running for office. However, Suu Kyi has said she will be above the president, essentially making Kyaw a proxy. Both the upper and lower houses of parliament as well as the military make nominations for vice president, and one of the three will be picked as president. The remaining nominees both become vice presidents. Hiten Kyaw is most likely to emerge as the winner given NLD's parliamentary majority of 80% secured at the polls in November.
ပြည်ပကလူတွေနဲ့ဆက်ဆံဖို့ရောအင်မတန်အရေးအသွေးအရေးအချင်းကောင်းဖို့လိုအပ်ပါတယ်အဲ့အတွက်ကြောင့်ဒီလိုအရေးအချင်းအရေးအသွေးကောင်းတဲ့လူတအုပ်ကိုလွှတ်တော်အတွင်းမှာ
November's elections were the first freely held in the nation in 25 years. It marked the first poll since 1990 that Suu Kyi's party contested and was historic due to the size of NLD's win. The NLD was widely considered to have won the 1990 poll as well, but the military rulers annulled the results and placed Suu Kyi and many of her colleagues under arrest. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Now, North Korea on Thursday fired 2 short-range missiles off its eastern coast, according to South Korea's military. Shortly after the launch, Pyongyang also announced termination of all inter-Korean cooperative projects and said it will liquidate South Korean assets in the country. The launch is the latest saber-rattling on the peninsula that is already roiling with tension.
The already heightened tensions in the Korean peninsula continue to worsen. In more show of force, North Korea on Thursday fired 2 short-range ballistic missiles. South Korean military said the missiles, launched off the east coast, flew some 500 kilometers before falling into the sea. The development comes a day after Pyongyang's claim that it had developed miniaturized nuclear warheads to fit on ballistic missiles.
관련 상황을 면밀히 추적 감시하고 있으며 북한의 도발에 대한 만반의 대비 태세를 유지하고 있습니다.
発射されたミサイルがスカットであるという可能性はあるということです。
当前半岛局势复杂敏感，各方应停止一切刺激性的言行，避免局势进一步紧张升级。
Apart from launching the missiles, North Korea announced it is nullifying all inter-Korean cooperative projects and will liquidate South Korean assets in the country. Seoul had last month ordered the closure of Kaesong Industrial Complex, a rare symbol of cooperation between the two Koreas. At the time, North called the shutdown a declaration of war.
남조선 괴뢰 패당이 일방적으로 금강산 관광과 개성공업지구 가동을 전면 중단한 것만큼 이에 따라 우리는 우리 측 지역에 있는 남측 기업들과 관계기관들의 모든 자산을 완전히 청산해 버릴 것이다.
Tensions are already running high in the Korean peninsula following a 4th North Korean nuclear test and the largest ever joint US-South Korean military drills. North Korea on Sunday warned it would make a preemptive and offensive nuclear strike in response to the joint exercises. US and South Korea say the two allies were closely monitoring signs of any provocation. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Some more international news now in Global Buzz. At least 5 people attempting to reach the Greek island of Lesbos drowned after a boat carrying migrants sank off the Turkish coast late last night. The Turkish Coast Guard, using speedboats, rescued 9 people and recovered 5 bodies. Rescue work is underway for 2 migrants who are reportedly missing. Macedonia, Slovenia, Croatia and Serbia have now closed their doors completely to migrants, leaving thousands trapped in tented slums on the Greek border. 2 gunmen ambushed a backyard party near Pittsburgh in the United States, killing at least 5 people and injuring several others. The shooters fled after the ambush and are still at large. The attack is the latest in a series of mass shootings that have elevated gun control as an issue in the US presidential elections. Injured victims were taken to nearby hospitals, but 1 died from her wounds. The other 3 are in a critical condition. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro announced that he will protest the US decision to renew sanctions. The announcement comes days after US President Barack Obama extended an executive order that imposes sanctions on top Venezuelan officials and declared the South American nation a national security threat. The fishery industry in Japan's Fukushima is still struggling to recover 5 years after an earthquake-triggered accident at the Daiichi nuclear power complex. The seafood port of Fukushima is found to contain high levels of radiation after the accident, and the local fishery industry suffered a sharp decline. The local fishery association began to catch a small amount of specific species and promised strict radiation detection. Time now for all the sports action in Sports Beat. Pakistan's Interior Minister Chaudhry Nisar Ali Khan today said that the Pakistan cricket team will not travel to India for the upcoming ICC World T20 until the Indian government gives an assurance on the security front. The International Cricket Council on Wednesday relocated the March 19th game from Dharamshala to Kolkata, citing security reasons in Himachal Pradesh. But despite the venue change, Pakistan said that it was not satisfied by India's response on security. Indian shuttlers Saina Nehwal, K. Srikanth and B. Sai Praneeth will feature in the pre-quarterfinal matches of the All England Open Badminton Tournament today. India had a mixed day at the All England Badminton Championship on Wednesday, with shuttler B. Sai Praneeth stunning world number 2 Lee Chong-wei in the first round, but PV Sindhu and 6 other Indian shuttlers bowed out in the opening round. Zlatan Ibrahimovic scored a goal and created another as Paris Saint-Germain won 2-1 at Stamford Bridge to eliminate Chelsea from the Champions League. Leading 2-1 from the first leg, PSG won by the similar margin in the second leg to win the tie with an aggregate score of 4-2 and advance to the quarterfinals. Liverpool will host Manchester United in their first leg of the Europa League last 16 tie on Thursday. The encounter will mark the first time the teams will face off in European competition. Liverpool won the last of their 3 titles in this competition in 2001, but United have never been beyond the quarterfinals of this tournament. Well, that's the news tonight. Good night.